Hey guys, you're welcome on here. It's a pleasure to have you. This is your girl SAP Media. Thank you for logging on. New week, new vibes, new inspiration, new motivation, everything new. Where it's like every other normal day, every other day, but we know what happens at the beginning of a new week. Like we're so excited, we just feel okay. A fresh a breath of new fresh air, like okay, we are empowered to do new things, newer things, and newest things. But this Nigeria that we are, we always have a lot of stories. I'm not sure I've talked about this in any of my videos, so today is the day to talk about it. Nigeria, corruption, corrupt practices, and everything corruption, starting from the hierarchy, like the high hierarchy of government, especially in public sector and civil service. Like we have a lot of all of these corrupt practices, and so many people are wondering, like, oh, even the youth, the younger ones are wondering, like, why do these leaders, why do these acclaimed leaders tend to do this to our nation, and what do they benefit from doing this? What are the benefit at the peril of every other national or EDG of the Nigeria economy? So this is so sad that sometimes people you put at the head of affairs to monitor, to manage, to cater for, some agencies use that as opportunities to extort, embezzle, collect money, and use it for their own selfish interest, for themselves, their families, and also those who they perpetrate this crime together. It is crime, and the latest of four were not far fetched from it is that of the former acting Efcc boss Ibrahim Mago. Like a lot of allegation has been levied against him of corrupt practices, of relooting of relooting the acclaimed items that were gotten from those who. So fighting corruption, you say you're fighting corruption, you're collecting properties, you're collecting other things from people who you think or who we thought. Then what do? You are also, and the latest I think was even him of some conniving with some pastors for with some pastors of church, yes, I mean it, to loot, reinvest the money into other things. This is really not a very good situation. Like people are beginning to wonder. There's always been controversy about pastors, where some of them actually usually get the money from, and their involvement in so many criminal activities or activities that do not even justify Christendom or what have you. But I'm just going to read a few one onward on some of the highlighted issues on this. We have so many good stories in Nigeria. I'm going to go into that, but now I'm just going to read into it, because as an EFCC boss, you're supposed to be at the top of your affair in ensuring that everything related to crime is minimized to the barest minimum. But in situation where you are the one now haunted for, I think this is a whole lot of like concern to everybody, and this is not the first of its kind. Actually, we've always had things like this over and over, and people are beginning not to really take it very lightly with the Nigeria economy, because who suffers most? Who suffers most is all the people at the grassroots, the ordinary Nigerians who really do not even have access to good quality services of any kind in Nigeria. We've seen what happened in the health sector. The pandemic situation has come to reveal the true state of economic activities, financial activities, health, education, and world review activities of the Nigeria economy, save for the private sector, the private investors, the entrepreneurs who are actually putting in their efforts to ensure everything works around for good, because this is where they make their profit from. This is where people who work with them make their profit from. So everybody at that industry, the private sector, is actually doing their best to make sure that at least at the end of the day or at the end of the accounting period, they actually make profits that the organization be able to pay as remuneration at the end of every month, and also maybe in bonuses or extra for colleagues, for employees at the end of the year. That notwithstanding, we know some of these people are also involved in shady businesses with some politicians, but we're not going that way. Now what we're going into is actually about the agencies that are supposed to actually fight corruption, but involving and indulging in these corrupt practices, not just on one count. Like what they're leveraging against them is a whole lot of counts, like leveraging about 10, 15, 20, 22, 23 counts against a chairman of an agency. No, that is not a good one. But let's see the latest. I'm reading from one of the Nigerian newspaper source this morning, and that is okay, questions over 5 billion election fund. 5 billion naira. So market women are looking for 100,000 naira to start business. They're looking for 200,000 naira to start business, to even start off their family. Then an individual, Nigerians, they don't get mind. Their minds are so hardened. Some, not all. 25 billion recruitment fund. Panel calls for fines on all politically exposed persons on EFCC radars. Magu untouchables. Other appear before panel today. Federal government asked government to file reports on EFCC activities in their state since 2013, since 2015, like since he became the acting chairman of the EFCC. Like, that's a very, very big trouble for him. EFCC actually means Economic and Financial Crimes Commission. EFCC Ibrahim Magu had asked him to account for 5 billion. Okay, the panel led by the former president of the Court of Appeal, Justice Ayo Salami, equally called for the fines of all politically exposed persons, equally called for the fines of and invited the Commission's Director of Finance, who was redeployed to the Ministry of Works weeks before Magu was arrested. They are all in it, but I feel, or I just see that this is handled very well by the judiciary. We also know what happens at that place or at that sphere or that place that, forget it, when you have money in Nigeria, where you're a millionaire, nothing, you're not persecuted or executed for wrongdoings, you're applauded. I really don't want to say applauded, but they're one way or the other exonerated. We know how this works. Only the poor people suffer in Nigeria when it comes to this. But further, the director of operation, Mohammed Umar Abba, whose president Muhammad made acting chairman of the EFCC, also sent a memo to all divisional heads directing them to send him their handover notes latest today. Okay, yes, okay, this is just probing him to let him know the sources disclosed that the EFCC officials denied involvement in all the allegations levied against their suspended boss, indicating that only Magu could provide answers to all illegal allegations of financial impropriety against him. Well, I think this is very correct. Medical I don't want to believe that he gets medical attention from where now? Like, is he sick already? These people, they don't really understand. When you arrest them, that's when they become sick. Their mental health, their emotional health becomes really derailed or goes to 10%. No, you have to be on 100% energy and capacity, because we have to get to the root of this situation. Well, every now and then we have issues or stories of people at the helm of affair going this way, looting the economy's resources, funds that are in the custody instead of managing it. Whereas in other news, we have people who with clean records, with clean academic, emotionally, intellectual capacity to manage this, but they never get into the position where they are elected into offices to manage situations like this or to manage agencies like this. Because some people are so scared of politics, because like we know, politics to some extent is a very, very dirty game, and people are very wary of how they get themselves involved in situations like this. Nobody wants to get there. Nobody wants to tamper or soil their image they have acquired in so many years, and also expose their family to a lot of uncertainties because of politics, power and fame. So that is why so many people who you see are very credible shy away from being head of agencies, and moreover, it is easily not available. We know how this runs in Nigeria. It has to come with influence, with power, with recommendations, and what have you. But I think at this time, at this junction, it is time for people who think they are capable to start diving into politics in their constituency, in their residence, in the state where they reside, in places where they do. Just make your impact known, contribute, let them know what you can do, let them know your capacity. Who can tell? I know it's really seemingly very uneasy. It may never be easy in a country like us, but sometimes you just have to go the extra to make sure that you do this, yes, even if it is to start supporting them, because I really feel that if we continue like this in this country, there will never be a headway. If we continue like this, if actually the people, I wouldn't want to say even in their 30s, in their 20s, 40s, 50s, if they really want the good of the country, if they want the good of the nation, it is time everybody starts setting or getting involved in politics, right from the grassroots level to the upper echelon. It is no longer time for us to leave it to those we think, oh, they have the energy, they have the power, they have the resources, they have the influence and the outfluence to be there. It is time for us all to set aim. We could see what is happening. Another story I would have even loved to talk about right now that just jumped at me is the educational system. We know so many stories on this for since the pandemic or the ease of lockdown, whether to start school or not. And the front and back of the Minister of Education, the stakeholders, the federal government, the people involved has been a bit like come on, do you really have to do this? There should be a conclusion on this. Well, what do we really think? It is time for us to start letting our children take responsibility. So many people have the opinion that if schools are opened, if we do our day-to-day life, if marketplaces are opened, if people go about their daily life from morning to evening, then what stops the school from getting back? This is like, it's not just a national examination, it's a West African examination. So if other West African states are ready to partake in this examination, why would Nigeria exempt themselves? This is time for them to even take responsibility. Like I always say, like I said in one of my videos, it is time for the teachers to actually step up and be ambassadors at this time, just like the head workers had stepped into the situation to save life. It is time for them to also save life educationally by ensuring that, I think at this time it would, even because some of the classrooms are empty, so there'll be a lot of social distancing in the school, so they provide every other thing that is needed. I feel if states can conduct election, I know that's just a day, if states can conduct rally and election, some states at this time, Edo State in particular and Ondo State, if they can conduct election, why would the government shift the West African School certificate examination? That's the WASC or the WAEC. Why would they shift that? It is time for them. Teachers shouldn't. I know it's not really a good or a dicey pill. It's not really a good or a palatable situation, but I think this is the time the Federal Ministry of Education would have come on it so excellently at 100% capacity to say, you know what, I can handle this, we can handle this. Of course, we are not letting any other person come into school, but every strict measures has to be put in place, and all the preventive measures has to be put in place, and any child who falls ill during the season would automatically be suspended from writing the exam till next academic session. But in the interim, I feel they should have walked around all of this and then let the children move, let them just write the exam, then go back, let the sleeping dogs lie, and life continues. But I also understand the fact that some parents are or may not be willing to let their children out. But on the larger, in my head, or on at the larger sphere, I'm thinking it is time for us to let our children take more responsibility of their life. Some of these kids are about 15, 16, 17, some even be 18. Yes, it is not strange to see an 18-year-old, well, it's strange anyway, but it's not, it's not so bad to see an 18-year-old child in SS3. We have cases like that. We even have some cases in rural centers where we have people who are 19 and what of you. So I would at this time say these are some of the similar issues. I know a lot of activities ongoing every now and then, so we have very topical stories, and this is the channel where we'll talk about some of them. I'm your topical girl, Efcc. If you have other wonderful, newsworthy and interesting stories for us to learn from, I think it is time, just put it in the comment section. If you've not subscribed to my YouTube channel, kindly do so. I'm your topical girl, Efcc. Thank you for logging on. Thank you for staying with me. Thank you for being a part of this discussion this morning. Is it discussion? Yes, of this time this morning. And do have a very, very pleasant week. Bye bye.